Good morning, Tony Datino on Friday, and my goodness, my Friday is packed today. So I do, no way after I get at 9 o'clock am I going to be able to get this done. And so I got up a little bit early, and here I am with my Live with Tony, and I want to continue a very, very important message that I had started earlier this week. And it comes out of the April issue of Mind, Mood, and Memory magazine, Mind, Mood, and Memory newsletter. How lifelong learning reinforces memory and sharpens thinking skills and elevates your mood. And so, what the research has continued to show, and what the experience continues to prove with people, is mental challenges, and we'll call that lifelong learning, really continues to build brain structure in terms of your memory patterns and memory traces, and obviously impacts your mood as you feel that you're continuing to learn things. It's exciting and it's fun, and therefore when you're learning something new, you want it to be fun. So one of the key elements we miss is, okay, so you've got this, what I call this check mark list, and I'm going to ticky mark, I'm going to be a lifelong learner. You don't want it to be something that is boring. You don't want it to be something that's not challenging you. So there's some mix of, it's fun, it will challenge you, and you'll learn something that you may be able to want to share with the family members or other people in your social network. And so I've talked about the importance of social networks over and over again, and that having people talking to people has got so many different benefits to it. And so one of the things that you can do in your social environments are to talk to people about things that they've learned in their life. Maybe it's lessons learned in life, or it's their values and how they've come about having those values in their life. I did a podcast yesterday, and the first question I was asked in the podcast is, so what's your beginning? Where did you establish your value system? What were your early life experiences that have made a lasting impact on you? And I thought about that, and God, I was back talking about my dad and how he helped different people. He was an Italian person that just believed in helping other people and making a difference and helping them find work and places to live and cars to drive, and he'd meet immigrants that were coming in New York City, and he'd find places for them to go and work and to do. And so it established my value system of where I love helping people. I love teaching people. So now, do we love learning? And so I'm always reading new things, as I have in these newsletters, and I'm always trying to share those lessons with other people. So I'll take articles like this and I'll bring them over to the workshop that we're doing with seniors and people that have had an interest in continuing to learn and meet in social circles in their life. And so there's so many different ways that we can do this that is just so natural, but having fun. So in here, it talked about learning opportunities. There's a wave of people that are, like, as we're getting older, has sparked a growth in learning programs nationwide. And the concept has been around for a bit. That's the interesting part. It's been around for a while, right? In 1962, New York City's New School for Social Research, that was a university, helped establish one of the first major lifelong learning programs. 1962, I mean, like, that's 60 years ago, and it's been around. And how many people are active versus they get through, and sometimes they're being forced to retire, or we go through college, and it's amazing to me, people that go through college. Well, I now have my degree and I now have my life in front of me. I'll maybe get married, maybe I won't, and maybe I'll have this job, maybe I'll have that job, but God, do we ever hit that wall where it's time to move? So, like, I worked at IBM for almost 28 years, I was a finance professional there, and the next thing I know, I'm studying the human brain. And so now I think about that. I started that 28 years ago. So as long as I worked at IBM, I've also worked on studying the human mind and teaching those lessons. And boy, do I get excited, as somebody said to me yesterday, my God, you're just so enthusiastic and so energetic about it. And I said, because we're learning so much that my lifelong learning is to continue to see and read about the human mind. And then my purpose is teaching this to other people. So I want to consistently share these lessons with people. Otherwise, it's interesting that they're good for me, but my goodness, if I can't share them with others, then what's the purpose of it all? So I'm constantly trying. Harvard Institute for Learning began in 1977. So who ever realized that Harvard had a retirement institute? And so it includes a combination of instruction-led courses and seminars, as well as peer-led classes and discussion groups. So peer-led. Your social circles. I know a number of people in my social network that with COVID actually started what we call driveway or garage outdoor sessions of people just meeting other people and getting together and just having a weekend chit chat and talking about, maybe it was the week's topics, or maybe it could be experiences they're having with things in their house, something that was broken that they fixed. Was it a plumbing problem, an electrical problem, something they had challenges with their grandkids, talking about early life experiences and what did they do when they first got through high school, and what college did they go to and why did they pick that. There's just so many things that we can talk about with people that really build what we'll call here reinforcing lifelong learning and its impact on jogging our memories and certainly having an impact on our mood. And so we have a group of people that meet every Saturday. We sit outside the garage, and then extends down the driveway, and we just meet people, and we just have great conversations, and boy, a couple hours on a Saturday mid-afternoon, early evening just go by, and we celebrate people's birthdays or anniversaries or something to celebrate, and we'll go get some pizza or whatever we may, some pasta, and we'll sit there and we learn from one another, and it's amazing. And then once in a while somebody, well, gee, I had this break, or I had this problem, or I have a car issue, and somebody's there to, boom, let me tell you what we can do or how I can help fix it. There are many opportunities and ways to continue to learn, is the point that I want to make. Adding that many people discover new learning activities through their social circles. So here we go. This is just what I'm just talking about, through their social circles. It's their grandchildren. Now, how's that one for a concept? What can you learn from your grandchildren? One of the things I've always done with my grandkids, especially as they've gone through their school years, is say, so what were 3 things that you learned in school this week? And I'd call and talk with them on a Friday and say, what was exciting about school this week? What was something you learned that you just found was like an aha, or like that was interesting? And it caused them to be more attentive, by the way. It was very helpful to me, having the fun and building relationship with my grandkids. But it was also interesting to them. And why would you think, asking your grandkids, so what were some things you learned this week that were fun and exciting? And the answer was, it made them more focused in school to say, all right, I know I'm going to do this with Grandpa on Friday or Saturday. What is it that I'm going to learn this week that he'll find to be exciting? And so it made them more focused and more aware of what they were learning in classes, and then even jotting notes down at sometimes that made them couldn't wait to share this with Grandpa. So our children and our grandchildren. So even our children go to school every week. Do we sit down with them at a dinner table and say, okay, what was something you learned in school today that you found that was interesting or fun? What subject was that in? Was that in your science? Was that in your civics? Was that in your social studies? And so there's a way of just livening up the dinner conversations that were just so much fun. People who become mentors to students and young professionals can impact years of wisdom. So now if you happen to be at any age, I'd say at 50 years old, can you teach younger people something? And I remember doing the sessions for church, and where we had the seniors in that church group, and we brought in the Boy Scouts, and we had the seniors teaching the Boy Scouts different things. And so not only did the seniors enjoy teaching them about something, but they got to meet and educate younger kids, and then the younger kids would talk to them about things they were learning, and so it was a mutual exchange of information. But what was important is the seniors were learning a whole lot about kids, which then helped them deal with their own grandkids and people in their families. So there's a limitless number of opportunities that we have before us if we just use a little bit of our creativity and a little bit of imagination that get us outside of our world and our silo sometimes, that really make a huge difference in, first of all, our mental health, social interactions, clearly, and just having our moods be so much more positive and being so much more energetic that we just get up every day and we're just so excited to look at a day before us, and especially some of the challenges we faced through COVID and some of the impacts that we've had with people with anxiety and stress and just mental challenges they've had to face. It just gives us a different option and a different way to go about it. And it is Friday, and off we go to another weekend. The days of May, or the days of 2023 seem to be zipping by, and here we are at Cinco de Mayo, here on May the 5th of this 2023 year. And to the weekend we go, and have a pleasant weekend and enjoy whatever you may be doing. The weather is picking up all over the country, and warmer weathers and things. And here we are in Florida, we're getting into our mid-80s, and so I make it to the pool at least every other day and do some of my laps. And maintaining my physical health as well as my mental health as I bring magazines with me to read, as I said about the community pool. Have a great weekend. We'll see you on Monday.